Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to tear apart a language textbook page by page to really understand how it's supposed to work. We're pulling back the curtain on the whole process of learning a new language. So here's a question for anyone who's ever tried to learn another language. You know how it is, right? You can say hello, you can say thank you, maybe ask where the bathroom is, but then what? How do you cross that huge chasm to where you're actually having real, confident conversations? It's the big puzzle, the ultimate goal. Well, this book right here, Português em Foco 2, which means Portuguese in Focus 2, it basically claims to be the map for that exact journey. It's not about memorizing lists of words, it's about building real-world skills. So today, we're going to use its pages as our guide to see how a modern language textbook really ticks.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll figure out what this B1 thing even is. That's our destination. Then, we'll look at how the book gets you having your very first real conversations. After that, we'll see how you level up to understanding things like the news. Then we'll explore the big one, how language becomes a key to unlocking culture. And finally, we'll wrap it all up and define this FOCO method.
Okay, first up, every good trip needs a destination, right? You need to know where you're going. And for this textbook, that destination is crystal clear. The whole point of this book is to get you to level B1. So what on earth does that actually mean? Well, B1 is part of a standardized European scale. Think of it like levels in a video game. B1 is where you become an independent user. You can get by on your own when traveling, you can talk about your life, your hopes, your dreams. It's that magic moment where the language stops being an obstacle and starts being a tool you can actually use.
So how does it get you there? Well, it's all built on these 4 pillars. It's not just one thing. You've got reading to get new words, you've got grammar to learn the rules, you've got listening to train your ear, and you've got speaking to actually put it all together. But the real secret isn't just that it has these 4 things, it's how they're all woven together in every single chapter.
Okay, so that's the theory. But let's see how this actually works. How do you go from a grammar rule on a page to a real live conversation?
Okay, check this out. This is a perfect example right from Unit 1. On the left, you've got this super simple phone call. One person tried to call another while they were in the shower. A classic situation. And then on the right, bam! There's the grammar lesson that powers that exact conversation. How to talk about an action that was interrupted. The book doesn't just throw a rule at you, it shows you exactly where that rule lives in the real world.
And this is the secret sauce right here. It's all about the sequence. First, you learn the structure, the nuts and bolts of saying, I was doing this when something else happened. Then, boom, the book immediately gives you these ready-to-use phrases for apologizing or for brushing it off. And then, the final step, your turn. It throws you into a role play where you have to use everything you just learned. It's a straight line from grammar to phrase to actually doing it yourself.
All right, so you've nailed apologizing for being late. Awesome. But what's next? Well, the book doesn't just leave you there. It starts to slowly but surely expand your world from personal chats to much bigger topics. You fast forward to Unit 8, and you can see the world getting bigger. The theme shifts from what happened to me yesterday to what's going on in the world today. The unit's title is literally, what does the newspaper say today? So the topics are more complex, and that means the language you need gets more complex too. You're leveling up from just chatting to actually analyzing information. And here's where it gets really clever. The grammar you learn evolves with the topics. To understand the news, you have to get the hang of the passive voice. You know, instead of saying, the police caught the robber, news reports often flip it around. The robber was caught by the police. It's a totally different style. The book teaches you this structure, not because it's just another rule to memorize, but because it's the key you need to unlock this new type of text.
But you know, at the end of the day, language isn't just about stringing correct sentences together. The real endgame is understanding, and that means understanding the culture that the language is a part of.
And this, for me, is where it all comes together. The final unit is simply called Portugal, and the main text isn't a simple story. It's an interview with a British journalist who has spent his life writing about the country. The whole point here isn't just to practice your reading skills. It's to use the language you've learned to really think about what makes a country tick. I mean, just listen to this quote from the interview. He says, Portugal is a great people, but the Portuguese are the first not to believe it.
I wanted to show why. Whoa. That's not a simple sentence. That's a deep, complex, even contradictory idea about national identity. By giving you text like this, the book is inviting you to go beyond just understanding words and start engaging with the real conversations and ideas of a culture. All right, so we've taken a tour through a few key parts of the book. Let's pull back for a second and just spell it out. What exactly is this FOCO method we've been seeing in action?
So if you boil it all down, the method is this. It's action-oriented. You learn by doing, not just by reading. It's communicative. Every single grammar rule is there for a reason, to help you say something real. It's progressive. It takes you step by step from your own life to the wider world. It's integrated. All the skills are tangled together, just like in real life. And maybe most importantly, it's culturally rich. Because being fluent isn't just about being right, it's about being able to truly connect.
So, in the end, what you have here is a map. A really, really good map. It shows you the path, it points out the landmarks, it tells you where you're headed. But it can't drive the car for you. And that really highlights the most important part of learning any language. It's not just the book, it's the person who decides to pick up that map and start the journey.